Good afternoon. Can everybody please take their seats so we can get started? Thank you. So before I get started, I want to say that we had a really great time last night. And thank you to Anthony Osona, our DJ, for the music. It was just really a great time. And who knew that Don Deese could dance to YMCA? I have known Don for years now, and I did not know he had moves like that. So, yeah, it was fun. A great time had last night. So, good afternoon. Welcome to the Correctional Peace Officers Foundation Project 2000 34th Recognition Luncheon. This is truly a special occasion where we gather to honor and celebrate the remarkable individuals who have triumphed over catastrophic events. I am deeply honored to stand before you today as the Chief of Staff for the Kentucky Department of Corrections and a member of the Board of Directors for this exceptional organization. First and foremost, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to each of you for joining us here today. Your presence serves as a testament to the importance of our shared mission to support and uplift those who have faced unimaginable challenges. Through our collective efforts, we strive to make difference in the lives of those who have dedicated themselves to the field of corrections and have endured life-altering circumstances. Our brave correctional staff encounters extraordinary circumstances every day, risking their own well-being to ensure the safety and rehabilitation of individuals within our facilities and community. They face challenges that most of us cannot even fathom, and yet they persevere with unwavering dedication. Today, we come together to honor those who have survived inmate assaults and corrections personnel who have demonstrated bravery above and beyond the call of duty. Their stories inspire us, reminding us of the resilience of the human spirit and the capacity to triumph over adversity. They embody the essence of courage, strength, and determination, and it is our duty to recognize their extraordinary achievements. As we enjoy this luncheon and engage in meaningful conversations, let us reflect upon the profound impact of our collective efforts. Together, we have the power to uplift and empower those who have experienced life-altering events, showing them that they are not alone in their journey. Our support provides a lifeline, reminding them that their sacrifices and hardships are seen and deeply appreciated. Once again, thank you for being here. Your presence is a testament to the compassion, empathy, and solidarity that defines our community. Together, let us continue to uplift, inspire, and honor those who have overcome catastrophic events. May this luncheon be a source of hope, renewal, and collective strength as we embark on another year of making a positive difference in the lives of those who deserve our utmost respect and admiration. Thank you. At this time, I would like to ask Vanessa Lee, CPO Foundation representative, to start us in prayer.
May we bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we come to you today with thanksgiving in our hearts. We ask, Lord, we thank you for our daily bread for today, and we also ask you to bless the hands that prepare this meal for today, that it would give us strength and nourishment to our bodies. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Vanessa. Now, we will have a presentation from our CPOF Pipe and Drum and 2 members from the Massachusetts Pipe Band. Thank you. That was beautiful, especially that Amazing Grace. Please enjoy your lunch, and then we will begin our program. And let's give them one more round of applause. Okay, we're going to get started with our program. Please continue to eat. Just keep the noise at a minimum, please. So, our speaker today is going to be Ken Rivard. Ken Rivard is a lieutenant with the Rhode Island Department of Corrections and also the grievance chairman for the Rhode Island Brotherhood of Correctional Officers. I believe he has been attending CPOF projects longer than any one of us. Let's welcome Ken Rivard.
Let's see. Looks a little different from up here. Good afternoon, everyone. As Kim said, my name is Ken Rivard, and I come from the great state of Rhode Island. I've worked for the Rhode Island Department of Corrections since the 70s, and I've been a union representative for the Rhode Island Brotherhood of Correctional Officers also since the 70s. As you can figure, I've probably been working for corrections longer than a lot of the people attending this function. I think corrections is a great profession, and I have enjoyed by representing the men and women in corrections for all that time. It was through my affiliation with the Rhode Island Brotherhood of Correctional Officers that I met Don Novi, Glenn Mueller, Larry Corby, Sal Osana, and Dick Waldo in the early 80s at a conference. They had all in some way been connected to the California Union. At that time, they described to me a vision they had to form a national organization that would help and assist fallen officers and their families. At the time, there was no such organization in the country that assisted correctional officers, and they had had several officers killed in the line of duty. To be honest, it sounded like an impossible dream that they were sharing. Shortly after that meeting, they started that organization in California, and they called it the Correctional Peace Officers Foundation, with all of its original members being correctional officers from the state of California. I'm very proud to say that when CPOF went national, the Rhode Island Brotherhood of Correctional Officers and its members were the first group to join CPOF outside of California. Now CPOF, from what I understand, has members in almost every state. It's hard to believe, but as Kim said, I attended the first project in Washington, D.C., and I've attended every one except for one when my son graduated from high school. I spent a lot of Father's Days with my CPOF family. I've watched CPOF grow from a dream. In the first meeting, we had 75 or 80 people in attendance to what it is today. All of us in Rhode Island, and many of you here, have witnessed firsthand CPOF's stepping in during catastrophic events and helping our line staff in their darkest times. After staff assaults, deaths, illnesses, and sadly when a staff member is killed in the line of duty. CPOF has always been there to assist when needed. They truly make a difference to our correctional family. Taking care of our own is such a fitting motto. Although it was 5 men who started this organization, I'd like to recognize 2 women that I've witnessed over the years put their heart and soul into CPOF. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize Charlene Corby. Shah, you've met so much to CPOF over the years. I've known Shah for over 40 years, and I've watched how she truly takes care of our own. Thank you, Shah, for your friendship, your dedication to helping all of us who walk the toughest beat make it a little easier. You are truly the queen of CPOF, and we all love you. One final comment about our Rhode Island CPOF point of contact, Kim Blakely. With your hard work and dedication to our state, we have been able to sign up almost 90% of our membership with CPOF. We're hearing shortly that you'll be taking over a new role with CPOF and new responsibilities, and we know you'll help CPOF continue to grow. You have been such a dedicated and hard worker with your CPOF family in Rhode Island and around the country. And you have a unique passion and love for correctional officers and their families. And Kim, I pray that you never lose that passion. Thank you very much, and God bless CPOF.
I would now like to introduce Chevy Amron, one of our newest board members. But not new to CPOF. She will talk about one of our largest and truly one of our most impactful programs made possible by all of our supporting members, the Catastrophic Assistance Program. And she will be introducing our assault survivors and above and beyond. Welcome, Chevy.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm so proud and glad to be here. My name is Chevy Amrine, and I am I'm a national director with the Correctional Peace Officer Foundation Board, and I am one of the newest members. And I want you to know that Jeff Washington, who isn't physically here with us, he is also one of our new national directors, and I just want to give a shout out to him because he's been live streaming the entire event, and he's been texting us some positive affirmations. Being on this board is not my only responsibility. I also have a side gig. I'm actually an associate warden, and I'm assigned to High Desert State Prison in Northern California. Welcome, family. High Desert is a level 4 180 institution up in Northern California, and what that means is that is a high security risk mission. And the reason I tell you that is we house some of the worst criminals in the state of California. And honestly, the reason I tell you that is because I want each and every one of you to understand and know that we get it. We get it. And as I look around this room, there are literally thousands of years of correctional experience amongst us in this room. Our Correctional Peace Officer Foundation Board, our combined experience, I estimate to be over 150 years. And that's really remarkable. We get it, and that's why I tell you that. It's very strange if you ask any one of us in this room about your job, you're gonna say, you know, I love it, including me. I love that job, and this is so perplexing to me because the job that we do is a job where you show up for an 8-hour shift, right? You don't know if you're gonna go home. You don't know what you're gonna respond to on that day, what kind of violence or trauma you're gonna endure. I mean, literally, serious assaults, murder, contraband watch, you know, suicide, you know, the terrors. And it just, we all say we love our job, and to me that is so perplexing. But I think Donnie Deasy said it best yesterday. He stole some lines from Dr. Love. Basically, what he was really trying to say is what really drives this family here, it's our love, honor, respect, dedication, and loyalty to each other. Brothers and sisters, can I get a witness? Right? I said, brothers and sisters, can I get a witness? Yeah. What we know is that every day, hundreds of thousands of correctional personnel risk their lives just by going to work. They are what stand between civilians and then those that have been deemed to be too dangerous to be a part of our society. Our brave mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, brothers and sisters give up their time with their families. They're often forced to. They forgo family barbecues, birthdays, vacations, school plays, graduation ceremonies, and time with their loved ones, just to keep our communities safe. Their countless hours serving their communities and society are rarely recognized. Today, we're here to honor staff that has not only given their time and their dedication to this noble profession, but have been brutally or seriously assaulted or injured while doing so. Honorees, when you hear your name, will you please stand at attention, and your escort will come to you to escort you up for your recognition. Fellow board members, please come to the stage so we can present. Our first person being recognized today is Lieutenant Lucas Wells, Eastern Reception Diagnostic and Correctional Center in this great state of Missouri. On May 21st, 2022, Lieutenant Lucas Wells was assaulted by an offender who reached out of the food port and started a slashing motion towards Lieutenant Wells' right arm, striking him. Lieutenant Wells sustained a laceration to his right inside forearm that required immediate medical treatment. So Lieutenant Wells was taken to the ER. Lieutenant Wells has recovered and was able to return to work. Lieutenant Lucas Wells. Lieutenant Wells had a rough week this week, and we're certainly glad, Lieutenant, that you've made it here safely to join us. He was working early this week in his institution, and my understanding he had to deal with a similar situation. So we're very glad you're here, Lieutenant Wells. Sergeant Desiree Schmidt and Correctional Officer Jason Sally, Montana State Prison, Montana. On January 18, 2022, Sergeant Desiree Schmidt was assaulted by an inmate during Pill Pass. The inmate punched Sergeant Schmidt in the face twice, knocking her to the ground where she laid unconscious. Correctional Officer Sally rushed over to get the inmate away from Sergeant Schmidt when the inmate began punching Officer Sally, knocking him to the ground. Once Officer Sally was back on his feet, he saw the inmate kicking Officer Schmidt in the ribs. The inmate then came at Officer Sally. While Officer Sally was trying to restrain the inmate bit him on his right forearm and left thumb. With the help of other staff members, they were able to restrain the inmate. Sergeant Schmidt suffered from bruises to her face and broken ribs. Both Sergeant Desiree Schmidt, Correctional Officer Jason Sally have returned to work. Sergeant Desiree Smith, Correctional Officer Jason Sally. Sergeant Sammy Addison, Allen B. Polinsky Unit, Texas. On October 16, 2022, Sergeant Sammy Addison was releasing inmates for lunch when an inmate began striking Sergeant Addison in the face, head, and ear. Sergeant Addison suffered a broken jaw and other facial fractures, as well as bleeding on the brain, and has undergone surgery. He has just recently been able to return to work. Sergeant Sammy Addison. Correctional Officer Brian Woodward, Hayes State Prison, Georgia. On January 24, 2022, Correctional Officer Brian Woodward was escorting inmates to and from the showers. When an inmate was being put into his cell, the inmate cellie grabbed Officer Woodward and pulled him into the cell, took his keys, and locked the door. While trapped inside the cell, the inmates began their assault against Officer Woodward, punching, kicking, and striking him with a carabiner on a chain, and also attempted to stab him. The inmates then gained control of his handcuffs, handcuffing him to the bed. After several minutes, security staff arrived to stop the assault. Officer Woodward received several injuries and was transported and treated at an outside hospital. Correctional Officer Brian Woodward. It's his birthday? Well, happy birthday, sir. Correctional Officer 3, Jamal McQueen, Scotland Correctional Institution, North Carolina. On February 4th, 2023, while conducting rounds, Correctional Officer 3, Jamal McQueen, was assaulted by an inmate with an inmate-manufactured weapon. The inmate began to stab Officer McQueen several times in the head and right arm. Officer McQueen administered OC pepper spray along with using his baton and control restraint defensive tactics, approved techniques to subdue the inmate. Correctional Officer Jamal McQueen waited for additional staff to respond. Officer McQueen was taken to the hospital and treated for multiple stab wounds along with several other injuries and contusions. Correctional Officer 3, Jamal McQueen. Correctional Officer Wayne Stambaugh and Correctional Officer Daniel Hess, Jr., Forest State Correctional Institution, Pennsylvania. On August 31st, 2022, an inmate became combative with Correctional Officer Wayne Stambaugh. When the inmate began arguing, Officer Daniel Hess responded to assist, and the inmate began striking him. Officer Stambaugh engaged in attempts to subdue the inmate. At this time, the inmate produced a weapon and began stabbing both officers. Additional staff arrived and took the inmate to the ground. Both officers were treated for multiple stab wounds and various other injuries. Unfortunately, Officer Daniel Hess was unable to attend here with us today, but today we do have Correctional Officer Wayne Stambaugh. Sergeant Robert Talmadge, Coastal State Prison, Georgia. On June 18, 2022, an inmate became combative and threw an unknown substance at officers through the door flap. An officer opened the door to get him to stop, and the inmate ran past him towards Sergeant Talmadge. Once the inmate reached Sergeant Talmadge, he began to attack him with an inmate-manufactured weapon. Sergeant Talmadge received puncture wounds to his back and his face, along with several other abrasions. Other staff responded to the assault and were able to subdue the inmate. Sergeant Robert Talmadge. Detention Sergeant Lori Pounders, Forsyth County Sheriff's Office, North Carolina. On August 12, 2022, Sergeant Lori Pounders assisted in a search of a cell when she discovered an inmate-manufactured weapon. Sergeant Pounders called for backup, and when they attempted to handcuff the inmate, he became combative and started to attack the responding officers. Sergeant Pounders attempts to restrain the inmate, but the inmate was able to grab her legs, causing her to fall backwards. The inmate punched her multiple times in the head. Once the inmate had Sergeant Pounders down, he continued an attack on another officer, but Sergeant Pounders once again attempted to help, causing the inmate, he continued to be combative. Additional staff came to the scene and handcuffed the inmate. Sergeant Pounders was taken to the hospital and treated for a laceration above her eye, along with a broken orbital bone and a concussion. Currently, Sergeant Pounders has been unable to return to work. Detention Sergeant Lori Pounders. Sergeant Alan Flockersee, Forest State Correctional Institution, Pennsylvania. On November 9th, 2022, inmates were released into the day room after their pill line. An inmate immediately began an attack on Sergeant Flockersee. Other officers saw the attack and immediately ordered the inmate to stop his attack. The inmate refused. The officer then deployed OC pepper spray at the inmate. The inmate attempted to flee the officers, and they yelled for him to stop. He did comply. The officers were able to get him into handcuffs. Upon the search, the inmate manufactured weapons consisted of a sharpened toothbrush. Sergeant Flockersee was transported to the hospital where he was treated for multiple stab wounds. Sergeant Alan Flockersee. Youth Specialist 3, Chris Thomas, Platte Valley Youth Services Center, Colorado. On May 31st, 2022, Youth Specialist 3, Chris Thomas, had transported an inmate to a dental office for a procedure when the inmate attacked him. He stabbed him several times. After the inmate attacked Specialist Thomas, he then fled the dentist's office, which started escape protocols. The inmate was found several hours later in a vacant garage. The inmate was taken into custody, and Youth Specialist Thomas was taken to the emergency room and treated for his injuries. Youth Specialist 3, Chris Thomas. Lieutenant Maureen Dreyer, Buena Vista Correctional Facility, Colorado. On April 25th, 2022, Lieutenant Maureen Dreyer was conducting her rounds when she observed an inmate who had covered his door. As she was removing the cover, the inmate became verbally abusive and threw a chair at her, and then he rushed her. The inmate struck her with a closed fist in the face, knocking her down, and then he began kicking and stomping on her head. Responders were called, and they took control of the inmate. Lieutenant Dreyer was taken to the hospital and suffered from a broken nose, along with numerous contusions to her head. She had to undergo multiple surgeries to repair the damage to her nose, but was able to return to work 2 months after the assault. Lieutenant Maureen Dreyer. It is with great pleasure that I may report to you that this Tuesday, on June 13th, the sentencing was held for this criminal at the Chaffee County Courthouse in Salida, Colorado. There were over 50 DOC employees there, all dressed in blue. They lined the walls of that courtroom. Wait, it gets better. Justice was served. He received 24 years for his crime. Can I get a witness? Correctional Officer Frederick Wilson, Jefferson City Correctional Center in the great state of Missouri. On September 28th, 2022, Corrections Officer Frederick Wilson was responding to a medical emergency that an offender was hanging in his cell. As the door opened to the cell, the inmate rushed him. He rushed all the staff members that were responding, to provide him aid. The inmate had 2 inmate manufactured weapons tied to each of his wrists, and he began to attack the officers. Officer Wilson sustained 6 lacerations to his face, neck, and head during the assault. Correctional Officer Frederick Wilson. Correctional Officer Joshua Dillon, Kentucky State Penitentiary, Kentucky. December 25th, 2022, Correctional Officer Joshua Dillon was assigned to a 6-cell pull-pin area to observe inmates being let out of their cells for pill call when 5 inmates rushed him. They pinned him down and they began kicking, punching, and stabbing Officer Dillon. Responding officers arrived and were able to take control of the inmate. Officer Dillon was sent to an outside emergency hospital via ambulance. He was stabbed 14 times with an inmate manufactured weapon. Officer Dillon suffered from multiple stab wounds, along with a collapsed lung, which required immediate surgery and a chest tube. After a very long recovery, Officer Dillon was able to return to work in May 2023. Correctional Officer Joshua Dillon. Correctional Officer Claude Patterson, Scotland Correctional Institution, North Carolina. January 9th, 2022, Correctional Officer Claude Patterson was assisting with feeding when he gave an inmate a direct order to lock down after he received his food tray. The inmate became aggravated and charged at Officer Patterson, knocking him down and striking him over 35 times. Responding staff arrived and gained control of the inmate. Upon evaluating Officer Patterson, he was taken to the ER, and then he was transported by air flight to a larger hospital due to the severity of his injuries. Correctional Officer Claude Patterson. Correctional Officer 1 Matthew Tidman, Massachusetts Correctional Institution, Shirley, Massachusetts. On August 31st, 2022, Correctional Officer Matthew Tidman was brutally attacked by an inmate in the gym. The inmate went to the gym equipment and unscrewed the weight bar and used it to attack Officer Tidman. He hit him several times with the bar, knocking him to the ground, and continued his attack. Responding officers were able to gain control of the inmate, and an ambulance was brought to take Officer Tidman. Within moments, he was airlifted to the hospital with severe head injuries. Officer Tidman has gone through extensive surgeries and will continue to need care as he recovers. Correctional Officer 1, Matthew Tidman. Now we're going to recognize our bravery above and beyond the call of duty. Correctional Officer Antoine Green, Albemarle Correctional Institution, North Carolina. In November of 2021, Correctional Officer Antoine Green selflessly put himself at risk to protect his neighbor from a vicious dog attack. While he was outside, he heard screams of help from his neighbor, and he saw the dog charging. Officer Green ran towards the dog and attempted to grab his attention so the dog would not harm his neighbor. In doing so, Officer Green suffered from multiple bite marks to his arms and legs, which required a subsequent surgery from the attack. He had injuries to his knees as well because he was wrestling the dog, and he fell to his knees. Officer Green was out of work for almost 2 months while he recovered. Thank you, Correctional Officer Antoine Green, for your selfless actions in saving your neighbor. Correctional Maintenance Administrator 4, Ronnie Rawlings, Oklahoma. In May of 2022, Construction Maintenance Administrator 4, Ronnie Rawlings, and his wife were going out for a day of fishing when they noticed a car crash. It happened just a little bit up the road from where they were traveling. Of course, they immediately responded to the scene, and they noticed a woman crawling out of the car. And Ronnie asked if there was anyone left inside the car, to which she desperately responded that her babies were in the car. Ronnie quickly ran to the car and was able to get both the 1- and 2-year-old out of the car. Both children and the mom were taken to the hospital and treated for injuries. Thank you, Construction Maintenance Administrator and retired firefighter Ronnie Rawlings and his wife Denise. As correctional professionals, you're expected to show up and be brave, fearless, remain calm in the presence of evil dangers, presences of unknown, some unimaginable and horrific scenes and smells. You're expected to protect and serve the worst of the worst. You're actually sworn to do so. You're supposed to exceed in an environment where everybody else failed. And you do. You do day after day, and I am grateful. We are grateful. Thank you, everyone. Be proud of who you are. Lifetime. We have lifetime sponsors to present. We have plaques. Nebraska Honor Guard. Accepting the plaque, Community Correctional Center, oh, I apologize, the facility, that one. Community Correctional Center, Lincoln. Accepting the plaque is the Nebraska Honor Guard. Our next lifetime sponsor is Colorado Department of Corrections, and accepting the plaque on their behalf is Guy Edmonds. We have an individual lifetime sponsor, Ray and Lisa Stender. Rachel, that might be Steiner, but your writing is atrocious. It is Steiner. I know that guy. Sorry, Ray. Love you. Yes. Individual lifetime sponsor, Robert and Mary Pritchard. North Carolina Avery Mitchell Correctional Institution, and accepting the plaque is Warden Brett Bullis. North Carolina Tabor Correctional Institution, Miss Linda Strickland is accepting the plaque on their behalf. There's a trend here. I'm sensing the water is very good in North Carolina. North Carolina Community Corrections Districts 25, 28, 29, and 30. And accepting the plaque is Kevin Miller, Ashley Chastain, and Crystal Allen. Thank you, Board. Yes. I am a woman of my word. I'm a woman of my word, and I promised John and Carrie Mendebor that I would let you all know that they have a silent auction, and that's going to end at 1,500 hours today promptly. So if you're competing out there, you know that all of that is going to a very good cause. And yeah.
Thank you, Chevy. At this time, I'd like to invite Bridget Bollinger from the Washington Department of Corrections to the podium to talk a little bit about next year's project location. She's unavailable? Okay. Okay, I would like to remind everyone about the seminars this afternoon from 2:30 to 5 p.m. Mental fortification for correctional professionals. Yeah. And that's led by Lieutenant John Mendebor. And it's in Mills Studio 9. 2:30. The next one is Faith, Fitness, and Fun, and that is led by retired warden and current wellness coach Cecilia Reynolds, and that is in Mills Studio 8. Uh-oh with this next one, y'all. Women in Corrections, that was then, this is now, led by retired Region 4 Director Eileen Kennedy and retired Senior Warden Kelly Forrester of TDCJ, and that is in Mills Studio 1. Critical Response in Your Institution, led by retired Captain Guy Edmonds, and that is in Grand Ballroom C. I would like to now introduce Tom Donaldson, who is our transportation coordinator. Tom is one of our Oregon representatives who is also a corporal for the Oregon Department of Corrections. If you are one of Tom's outstanding drivers, could you please stand if you are in the room? I would like to thank Laura Matthews, our North Carolina representative, along Guy Edmonds, our Colorado representative, and their wonderful team of airport greeters to stand. We couldn't do this without this wonderful team. Thank you so much, guys. I know that's a lot of hard work. Okay. If you haven't gotten with our transportation team to coordinate your return to the airport, please do so after the lunch. Also, our reps, please see Rachel after this to get the scholarships to take back to your states to present those. And also would like to wish Gabriel Donaldson happy 21st birthday today. Is he in here? Okay. Nobody buy him any drinks today, okay? Okay. And now I would like to welcome Bridget Bollinger to talk about next year's project in Seattle. Oh, that's right. They didn't tell you.
No. Hi. So next year, project will be in Bellevue, Washington, which is near Seattle. We're going to be so happy to see everybody there, and I really don't know what else to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right now, if there is anyone that would like to make any comments about the events or anything about the organization or make any presentations, we can do so at this time. And while people are coming forward, I would also like to remind everyone about tomorrow's farewell buffet breakfast. It is starting at 8:45 here in the Grand Ballroom.
Seems like I've been in front of the camera a little bit too much today, but I just wanted to take this opportunity again to let you know that those of you that, as we wind things down and we set up our transportation to the airport and everything, we'll have two ladies in the back of the room. I think Ashley and Crystal are going to be in the back, and Laura back there too will be in the back of the room. Please check in with them and make sure that you're on the list. They will give you your departure times, and we'll get it all set up for tomorrow morning, okay? Or this afternoon, whichever the case may be. The second part of what I want to talk about is a little bit about what we've witnessed this weekend. And the Correctional Peace Officers Foundation, yes, I'm the Colorado representative, and we do work behind the scenes all the time. But without a fantastic board, without Shar, we would not have a project. And with this project, a couple of years ago, I brought my grandson, and after the event, I asked him what he learned. And it goes along with what Dawn has said this weekend. What the resounding theme has been is not just the love that everyone shares, but my grandson summed it up the best, I think, because he said, on Thursday afternoon, as we arrived at the airport, we had a team to meet the individuals. We welcomed them. Many hugs, many tears were shed during that time. We continued to shed tears for those that have suffered the ultimate sacrifice and lost a family member. We have shed tears as we heard the stories this afternoon of those that have survived assaults. But we also witnessed last night a little bit of a party. And we had some fantastic performances from karaoke singers, okay, and some dancers. I mean, Mr. Deese, you got the moves. But with that, my grandson summed it up. He says, Pappy, he says, what I witnessed and what I saw was a group of individuals that were strangers. Yes, you may be acquaintances on Thursday afternoon. You may know each other. But by the time that it was done on Sunday morning, individuals had shared stories. We had laughed together. We had cried together. But ultimately, we had prayed together. And we have demonstrated a love like no one else can. And we became and are becoming a family. And I want to pass that on to everyone in this room that says that family is what we are all about, and how we, as Correctional Police Officer Foundation representatives, board members, and members, are truly the semblance of what we do of taking care of our own. With that, I'm going to finish up with a presentation. I didn't bring my envelope up, but I do have a presentation and a challenge for any of the other representatives in the state. Since the 1st of June, I've visited 2 correctional facilities and attended 1 training academy class, and I have gotten, oh, thank you, my granddaughter. I have gotten, and I'm here, and we will send these to the office, 64 new member applications.
Hello, everyone. My name is Steve Markle. I'm a representative from the Council of Prison Locals. We represent over 30,000 bargaining unit staff in the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Our council, those of us that are here today and some of us that could not be here, would like to donate an additional $2,500 towards another lifetime sponsor. I want to say thank you to everybody in the CPOF family, everybody in this room. So thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Terry Wadley. I'm one of the commanders here with the Missouri Department of Corrections Honor Guard team. We have 2 other commanders here from Eastern and Western. We'd like to thank you guys for coming to our town, our city, our state, and I hope we showed you what we're made of. Hope you got to enjoy some of the stuff here in St. Louis, the Arch, the zoo, or whatever, and hope you can come back some other time. At this time, we'd like to present over $1,600 to the CPO Foundation on behalf of the Honor Guards. Thank you.
Hello, you all. We are from Western Reception Diagnostic and Correctional Center in St. Joseph, Missouri. And we are so welcome to see you all because we are the Show Me State. And the Show Me State also says, show me the money. $5,000 for our lifetime. Thank you all.
Good afternoon. I'm Tom Donaldson from Oregon. It's hard to believe that this is the 15th year I've got to do this. We've been hosting a golf tournament in Oregon since 2009, 2010, I think. And this year we had two, and next year we're going to have a third tournament. So this year we have a check for $5,000 for the CPOF and an additional $1,000 for the kids' room.
My name is Gary Evans. I'm the field representative for South Carolina. On behalf of our Honor Guard team, I'd like to present the CPOF Kids Room for a check for $2,020.
Good afternoon. My name is Eddie Santiago, and I'm with the Connecticut Department of Corrections. I would like to express our heartfelt condolences to the families who have lost their loved ones in the line of duty. I feel truly blessed to be a part of this experience, and I'm humbled to present a donation of $1,000 as taken to you guys as a token of our appreciation. We extend our sincere gratitude in the Correctional Peace Officers Foundation for the incredible work you do. I will for sure be looking forward to this experience next year. With that being said, Commander, Captain Sergio Perez.
Good afternoon. My name is Captain Sergio Perez. I am the Honor Guard Commander for the Department of Correction. I just wanted to take a moment to really thank the Correctional Peace Officer Foundation for everything you guys and gals do for the state of Connecticut. So with that being said, we had somewhat of a difficult time fundraising for the event. So we brought our items here, and everyone here made it happen. I thank you so much for the donations. With that being said, we were able to fundraise $500 last minute effort. So thank you all.
Good afternoon, y'all. David Edelman, Oklahoma Department of Corrections. I would like to donate $500 for our lifetime membership for the Honor Guard. And our agency has also had a little bit of trouble being able to provide the funds that we want from fundraising. And so we're now on a large kick in order to get that done. But at least for now, we can get started with another $500 for our Honor Guard. Thank you.
My name is Laura Hodges. I'm with the Michigan Department of Corrections. I believe it was 3 years ago, I was invited by the Department Honor Guards of Nebraska and Oklahoma to my first project. I flew solo that year. Thank you for making me feel welcomed all by myself out there. The next year I brought back one of my Honor Guard sisters. We took the message back. This year we were able to come back with a full detail. My grandmother taught me very young, you have to learn to walk before you can run. Michigan's ready to run. So thank you all for making us part of the family. On behalf of the Michigan Department of Corrections Honor Guard and our Commander, John Cordell, we have a check for $2,000 from our sales of our CPOF coins. If you haven't got them, find us out there. And through private donations. So again, it's our honor to be part of the family. Thank you for always welcoming us, and you'll see us again next year. Thank you.
All right, for those who don't know me, my name is Jill Edelman, and I'm the commander for the Nebraska DOC Honor Guard. In 2016, we attended our first CPOF project in Pennsylvania. We were anxious and nervous about what we would experience, but excited about what we would learn. On that Saturday, we saw several honor guard groups go up to the podium and talk about what fundraising they did during the year to donate to CPOF. We all looked at each other, and it was decided right then and there that we were going to ask our director at the time if this was something we could do. We set a goal of getting all 9 facilities, yes, we only have 9, a lifetime CPOF membership. We got to work right away, doing fundraisers like online clothing stores, selling items at our new hire graduation, silent auctions, and golf scrambles. Since then, we were able to donate enough money each year to get at least 1 facility their lifetime membership. After CPOF project in June last year, we had 3 facilities left. By September 2022, we raised enough money to cover 1 facility for their lifetime membership, which brought us to 2 facilities away from our original goal. Around October, I was contacted by a lady named Maureen Howard. Maureen Howard had 2 sons working for Nebraska DOC. Sadly, in 2019, one of her sons, Austin, took his own life at the young age of 24. Austin was a corporal at our community correctional center in Lincoln. He took his job seriously and always looked out for his coworkers. He was the reason why Maureen contacted me last year. She was wanting to do something in memory of her son and in a way that would help as many employees as possible. I didn't hesitate to tell her about CPOF. I told her what CPOF stood for, what the mission was, how CPOF helps correctional staff all over the nation, and I shared with her the type of fundraising we do for lifetime membership. After that first conversation, I did not hear from Maureen for several months. Then one day, out of the blue, my office phone rings, and I answered. It was a front desk clerk saying, "Ma'am, you have a visitor here who wants to speak with you. Her name is Maureen." I left my office and went to the front desk and introduced myself. Maureen gave me a hug and started to tell me the purpose of her visit. She stated she and her family decided to sell T-shirts in memory of Austin and give the money to an organization that could give back and help any employee in a time of need. She stated she talked about CPOF and the NDCS Honor Guard to her family after our initial contact, and it was decided that the money was going to be donated to us to give to CPOF. She hands me an envelope and says, "Here's a check for $10,000. Will that be enough?" After not being able to find words for what seems like quite a long time, I finally managed to tell her, "Ma'am, you have no idea how much you and your family have just helped. This money will go to the last 2 remaining facilities that are needing a lifetime membership. Thanks to you, your family, and your son, now the entire department is covered." Maureen gave me another hug, and we exchanged a few more words before she turned around, walked out the door with a big smile on her face. So in memory of Corporal Austin Howard, we want to present a $15,000 check that will go towards lifetime membership for our last 3 NDCS facilities: Work Ethic Camp, Community Correctional Center of Omaha, and the Nebraska Correctional Youth Facility. Thank you.
Wow. I'm John Frick. I'm with the North Carolina Department of Adult Corrections. If you've seen our come by our booth, we've had these flags on for a raffle. We've raised over $300 with this raffle, and we've come to do this opportunity to go ahead and draw for the ticket sales or from those. So, at this time, we're going to do that. Mr. Frank, can you come on? Yeah. All right, so I'll give you out the ticket number. Ticket number 213-1147. If they're not in here, we got a phone number for them. All right, so we got a second one. One more time, if you don't mind.
Troy Casket, Masterton, is that North Carolina?
Troy Caspin. It does say North Carolina, or Mass. No, Massachusetts Honor Guard, HG. Okay, yeah, thank you. Again, project means so much to us as a team. Our first one was in Seattle, and it's just being able to see what this organization does for the families firsthand with eyes on is just overwhelming. And for the, just talking to our officers, and they're here for the first time seeing that, and they say the same things. They said, wouldn't it be great just to get everybody here and to be able to see it for themselves? So that's what we're trying to do. So we thank you, and of course, again, we have coins. We have new coins. So I know you guys love your coins. You love your patches. Come out by the table and come check us out. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you again to those donations and those presentations. This concludes our luncheon. Thank you again for being here, and enjoy the afternoon. Please go to those seminars. They've worked hard on getting those together, and so enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.